Coming up on the Daily O, it's the 15-year anniversary of a viral video of one particular Oklahoma State staffer. Also, Cowgirl Soccer opens up Big 12 play tonight. Find out where they place in heading into conference play. And one former Oklahoma State Hall of Famer makes his return to Stillwater full-time. All of this and more coming up. The Daily O starts right now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Daily O. I'm Emma Lightfoot. Let's get into all things sports from OSU to throughout the nation. 15 years ago today, OSU football's head coach Mike Gundy had a lot to say to the media. And to this day, it's still a viral video of how Gundy quickly came to the defense of quarterback Bobby Reed. Take a listen.
If anybody hasn't read this article, I don't read it. This was brought to me by a mother of children. I think this is worth reading. Let me tell you why I want to talk about this article. 3/4 of this is inaccurate. It's fiction. And this article embarrasses me to be involved with athletics tremendously. And that article had to have been written by a person that doesn't have a child and has never had a child that's had their heart broken and come home upset and had to deal with the child when he is upset and kick a person when he's down. Here's all that kid did. He goes to class, he's respectful to the media, he's respectful to the public, and he's a good kid. And he's not a professional athlete, and he doesn't deserve to be kicked when he's down. If you have a child someday, you'll understand how it feels. But you obviously don't have a child. I do. If your child goes down the street and somebody makes fun of him because he dropped a pass in a pickup game, or says he's fat, and he comes home crying to his mom, you'd understand. But you haven't had that. But someday you will. And when your child comes home, you'll understand. If you want to go after an athlete, one of my athletes, you go after one that doesn't do the right things. You don't downgrade him because he does everything right and may not play as well on Saturday, and you let us make that decision. That's why I don't read the newspaper, because it's garbage, and the editor that let it come out is garbage. Attacking an amateur athlete for doing everything right. And then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me or our coaches. Don't write about a kid that does everything right, that's heart's broken, and then say that the coaches said he was scared. That ain't true. And then to say that we made that decision because Donovan Woods, because he threatened to transfer, that's not true. So get your facts straight. And I hope someday you have a child and somebody downgrades them and belittles them, and you have to look them in the eye and say, you know what, it's okay. They're supposed to be mature adults, but they're really not. Who's the kid here? Who's the kid here? Are you kidding me? And that's all I got to say. Makes me want to puke.
The famous "I'm a man, I'm 40" Gundy speech is well known in the media world, and its reputation lives on 15 years later. Moving things over to more recent OSU athletics, Day 3 of the ITF 15K Lubbock Pro Circuit wrapped up yesterday, with 3 members of the Oklahoma State women's tennis team. The day started with Ayumi Miyamoto defeating Indiana Spink in 2 sets, 6-3 and 6-0, to advance to round 2 of the main draw. Kristina Novak was defeated in 3 sets by Avelina Seyfetdinova, winning the first set 6-4 and losing the next 2 4-6 and 3-6. In doubles, Miyamoto and Lisa Marie Rue teamed up for the first time since the NCAA semifinals and defeated an Iowa State duo 6-4 and 6-3. And finally, Raquel Gonzalez walked away from the day with a doubles matchup win and faces off against Miyamoto today. Today is a big one in the college soccer season for OSU and many others as Big 12 conference play begins tonight. Oklahoma State is 7-1-1 on the season so far and is coming into conference play with a 4-game win streak. Tonight's game against the 7-3 Kansas Jayhawks kicks off at Rock Chalk Park in Lawrence, Kansas at 7 p.m. Competition for the Big 12 teams this season looks sharp as the Cowgirls are currently sitting at the top of the Big 12, but the Texas Longhorns and Kansas Jayhawks closely tail the Cowgirls. Wrapping up the standings, the Sooners sit fourth, followed by TCU, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Kansas State, West Virginia, and then Baylor. We'll take a quick break, but when we return, we'll tell you which former Cowboy baseball player is coming back to Stillwater, plus the scoop on what's going on with the Boston Celtics. Don't go anywhere. You're watching The Daily O.
Use the very best of the best ingredients. Demerara sugar is the best there is. Very high quality fruits, berries. The milk we use is the best milk there is. That's why it makes our product stand by itself. I like to make yogurt because I like to eat yogurt. We've been doing this for ourselves for many years because it's a tradition in our family. And we want to have a product which would be very similar to French yogurt, but with our touch of uniqueness, linking our name, our product, with the reputation of the Made in Oklahoma Coalition was probably the best thing we have done as far as promoting our product.
Ace in the Bowl salsa started many, many years ago. I was trying to find a recipe to take to a family gathering, and so I started messing around with different recipes, and I took a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I came up with a salsa that is truly unique. Ace in the Bowl salsa is an olive oil-based salsa with tomatoes, green chilies, green onions, and black olives. There's no sugar added, it's gluten-free, low calorie, low carb, low fat, low sodium. So it's a very, very, very good alternative to any snack you may want. As of right now, I'm just looking to be in Oklahoma and having a successful business within the state. If my grandkids could ever take it over when they're old enough, that would be my dream.
Over the years, we kind of realized that you can get ribs anywhere, you can get a steak anywhere, but you can't always get a Mountain View hot link like ours. So we really decided to focus on that niche and realized we had something really special. So that's when we started focusing more on the hot links, but it's still the same family recipe they were making all those years ago. For us, many of our people that work here have been with us for years and decades. So whereas machines kind of break down over time, the people just get better. And it shows in the products we produce. When you buy a Mountain View product, not only is it going to taste dynamite, but you're also feeding Oklahomans. You're helping employ Oklahomans, and you're helping to fund the state's economy. So what's better than that?
Welcome back to the Daily O. Starting with some national news, Boston Celtics head coach Ime Udoka faces a potential suspension for a violation of organizational guidelines. The story has evolved very quickly and been reported through a series of tweets by ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Udoka will be likely suspended for the entire 2022-2023 season for his role in what is being described as an intimate and consensual relationship with a female member of the Celtics organization. Despite social media speculation that former Celtics head coach and current general manager Brad Stevens would step in to lead the team, Wojnarowski reports that assistant coach Joe Mazzulla will likely become the team's interim head coach for the season. Udoka joined the Celtics in the summer of 2021 and led the team to an NBA Finals appearance in his first year at the helm. The Celtics organization is expected to make a formal announcement on the controversy soon. In other news, for the final professional tennis matches of his career, Roger Federer has been paired with longtime rival Rafael Nadal for his doubles match at the Laver Cup in London. The duo will play the Team World's Jack Sock and Francis Tiafoe on Friday afternoon at the O2 Arena in London. Federer and Nadal have won 42 men's Grand Slam singles titles between the two of them, and they've met 40 times in ATP Tour competitions, with Nadal winning 24 of those matches. Federer is only playing in one doubles match at the Laver Cup, a team competition between Europe and the rest of the world, and will be replaced by a player on Team Europe for Saturday and Sunday's competitions. Laver Cup rules were amended to allow for the Swiss Legends farewell. Usually players have to compete in both a singles and a doubles match. Federer, 41, announced last week that he will retire from professional tennis after the Laver Cup, saying he had to recognize when it's time for my competitive career to end. Federer and Nadal discussed what the match will mean to them in a press conference together.
Super special. Playing with Rafa feels really different, also just walking out on court and having the chance to play with the likes of Rafa or Novak also in the past has been an amazing experience for me. So to be able to do that one more time, I'm sure it's going to be wonderful.
After all the amazing things that we shared together on and off court, be part of this historic moment, going to be something, amazing, unforgettable for me. Super excited. I hope I can have a good answer, play at a decent level, and hopefully together we can create a good moment and maybe win a match.
Andy Murray is also set to feature in Friday's action, taking on Alex de Minaur in a singles match. The Laver Cup will begin on September 23rd and wrap up on the 25th. Moving things back to Stillwater, Cowboy Baseball Hall of Famer Jordy Mercer is back in town, this time as a coach. Mercer is a former two-way star with OSU and went on to have a 10-year Major League Baseball career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, Detroit Tigers, New York Yankees, and Washington Nationals. During his time at Oklahoma State, Mercer shined as a shortstop and closing pitcher from 2006 to 2008. He was inducted into the Cowboy Baseball Hall of Fame in 2017. Mercer was also a three-time All Big 12 Conference performer, a freshman All-American, All Big 12 first-teamer, and a member of the USA baseball team following the 2007 season. Robin Ventura formerly held the position of student assistant over the past 3 years, but graduated in May of 2022. Now, Mercer steps in to fill that role and hopes to give back to Cowboy baseball as much as it has given to him. We'll take a quick break, but when we come back, find out who's joining Cade Cunningham in Detroit and which TV character is coming to FIFA 2023. This is the Daily O.
I'm Kristen Hawkins. I went to Oklahoma State University here in Stillwater in 99 to 2004. I've always felt like Stillwater needed more family-friendly things to do, and we have opened up AR Workshop. We do everything from knitting blankets that can be done in a 3-hour class. We create doormats and porch signs, the Christmas wreaths with our yarn that we use for the blankets. We also do, we just started a new project for gnomes. We've done pumpkins during the fall, but our big thing that we do here are interior signs. Our designs are extremely unique to AR Workshop. Customers come in, everything is here for them to do. They create everything. They can be as hands-on as they want. They came in here to relax and have fun, and that they are proud of their project that they've made.
Our state is one of the most beautiful and unique states in the USA. With diverse geographies, the historic Route 66, unforgettable restaurants, and some of the greatest people on the planet. With so much to see and so much to do, living in Oklahoma means one of the best vacation spots is right in our own backyard. Doesn't this story need to be told? As filmmakers and photographers based right here in Oklahoma, we thought so. And hey, who doesn't like a good road trip? So, we packed up our cameras, teamed up with Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell and the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department, and that's how this series was born. We want to show you why traveling within the great state of Oklahoma is a great idea. So come join us for thousands of miles over the next year, from Broken Bow to Black Mesa. This is the Oklahoma Road Trip.
You may have been to casinos at some point in your life, but do you really know the truth behind the game you're playing?
And the casinos were very polemic or very controversial when they came out. But the truth was, that's all the federal government gave us.
Casino is owned by the Chickasaw Nation and has roughly 600,000 square feet of dedicated gambling space, making it the world's largest casino. It contributed massively to the Chickasaw Nation, posting a net revenue of $1.4 billion for the fiscal year of 2017.
Week 3 of the NFL will kick off tonight with the Cleveland Browns hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both sides come into this game with a 1-1 record, while looking for redemption following disappointing losses last week. Kickoff for that one will be at 7 p.m. and will be streamed exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. After drafting OSU's Cade Cunningham in 2021 and guard Jaden Ivey and center Jalen Duren this past June, the Detroit Pistons continue to try to improve their roster. The rebuilding Pistons picked up Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks from the New York Knicks earlier in the summer. This morning, the Pistons added onto that trade today to acquire sharpshooter Bojan Bogdanovic from the Utah Jazz. The 33-year-old Bogdanovic shoots nearly 40% from three for his career. His shooting and veteran presence will likely be invaluable to the young Pistons, who struggled from long range last season. In the trade, the Pistons are giving up Saban Lee and Kelly Olynyk. Olynyk averaged 9 points and 4 rebounds per game for the Pistons last season, mostly playing off the bench. Lee is a young guard who saw limited action last season and will hope to find a larger role with the Jazz. In more NBA news, Oklahoma City Thunder star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander suffered a grade 2 MCL sprain and will miss the start of training camp. SGA will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Luckily for Thunder fans, the injury is not as severe as rookie Chet Holmgren, who will miss the entire 2022 NBA season. OKC general manager Sam Presti says that the starting point guard suffered the injury while working out in the gym, and he does not know whether or not Shai will be back for the start of the season. Ted Lasso believed, and now he's officially promoted to video game character. Electronic Arts has announced the character in his football club, AFC Richmond, will appear in FIFA 2023. The Apple TV Plus show has become a worldwide hit. With their addition to FIFA, fans can manage the Greyhounds, they can coach players like Jamie Tart, Danny Rojas, Roy Kent, Isaac McAdoo, and Sam Obisanya. Or they can hire Ted Lasso or Coach Beard to do it. Nelson Road, the club's home stadium, also makes an appearance in the game. FIFA 2023 comes out September 30th. We're going to take one last break, but don't go anywhere. The play of the day is coming up next. More when the Daily O returns.
The hopes are when folks drink our water is that they'll drink it for a few days and find out the difference. They'll start feeling better because there's been no chemical in our water. There's a list of good things that we have. We don't have any bad things in it. I see the future of Divine Water as being worldwide, which will bring outside dollars into the state. It means a lot to me because I started it, I guess, and our family started it.
Well, how I got started was my daughter said, "Mama, why don't we rent a booth at the Quarter Horse Show?" And it was very, very good because, you know, when you're giving your jelly away for free, people really do love it. But when you ask them to pay for it, then that's a true test. What makes my product so unique is the Scotch bonnet pepper. And the Scotch bonnet is the Jamaican pepper. And I had lived in Montego Bay, Jamaica for 4 years. So I learned how to handle the pepper and how to cook with it. I always say, you don't do this on your own. I mean, you have so many people that help you along the way. For me and for many of us, that's my name on that jar, and it better be good.
My name is James Ramidi. Fired Up Stilly is the name of the business, and I'm one of the owners. We all three met, the three owners, working as employees at a similar place like this. What I hope for is for everybody to feel welcome, like family. Not only do I want students to feel welcome to come here and study and use our free Wi-Fi, but also I want adults and families to be able to come in. We've built a connection with a lot of people, and Stillwater's a big community, so we just want to invite everybody to be able to eventually make their way through our doors. Well, definitely the teas, I would say. Most people fall in love with them. They just got a great amount of energy, gets you going through your day, and it just kickstarts you to get everything you need to done. For myself, it would just have to be, being the owner, owning something that, is able to impact other people's lives, and, the way we can affect our community is something that I really have always wanted to do. We love our clients and our customers that come through every day, and we enjoy getting to know them.
Welcome back to the final rundown of the Daily O. It's time to turn back the clocks and look into the sports history book for today. While we already touched up on OSU head coach Mike Gundy's legendary speech, September 22nd is more of a historical day in the sporting world. In 1991, Miami Dolphins head coach Don Shula won his 300th career game with the 16-13 victory over the Green Bay Packers. Shula would go on to win 28 more games before retiring in 1995. Shula currently holds the NFL all-time records for career wins as a coach. Moving over to the MLB, it was the end of a legacy in 1993. Legendary pitcher for the Texas Rangers and the LA Angels, Nolan Ryan retired from the game of baseball. Ryan, a former 8-time All-Star, holds more than 50 MLB records to this day, including most no-hitters, strikeouts, and 200 strikeout seasons, and so much more. Now it's time to take a look into famous athletes who were born on this day. What better way to keep things with the MLB than with one of the greatest managers to have graced the dugout in Tommy Lasorda. Lasorda, who would have turned 95 today, spent 20 years in the City of Angels managing the LA Dodgers. In his tenure, Lasorda would help lead the Dodgers to 2 World Series rings, as well as 4 national pennants and 8 divisional titles. Now it's time for your top play from last night. Keeping things up through the MLB, let's send it down to the Atlanta Braves. In the bottom of the 5th, the Braves had a runner on first, and Roland Acuna Jr. hit one to short center, but would be foiled by this diving catch by Victor Robles. But it wasn't just a great catch. Robles hops up and throws it over to first to make the double play. The Nationals went on to win the game, and the two teams will face off again on Monday. Let's take one last look at our national headlines before we end today's show. Boston Celtics head coach Ime Udoka faces a potential suspension for a violation of organizational guidelines. The story has evolved very quickly and been reported through a series of tweets by ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Udoka will likely be suspended for the entire 2022-2023 season for his role in what is being described as an intimate and consensual relationship with a female member of the Celtics organization. Cowboy Baseball Hall of Famer Jordy Mercer is back in town, this time as a coach. Mercer is a former two-way star with OSU and went on to have a 10-year Major League Baseball career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, Detroit Tigers, New York Yankees, and Washington Nationals. During his time at Oklahoma State, Mercer shined as a shortstop and closing pitcher from 2006 to 2008. He was inducted into the Cowboy Baseball Hall of Fame in 2017. Mercer was also a 3-time All-Big 12 Conference performer, a freshman All-American, All-Big 12 first-teamer, and a member of the USA baseball team following the 2007 season. Also, some NBA trades are still underway. This morning, the Detroit Pistons acquired sharpshooter Bojan Bogdanovic from the Utah Jazz in exchange for Saben Lee and Kelly Olynyk. The 33-year-old Bogdanovic shoots nearly 40% from 3 for his career. His shooting and veteran presence will likely be invaluable to the young Pistons who struggled from long range last season. And that will wrap things up for today's edition of the Daily O. Tune back in tomorrow when Connor Bergen and Brody Myers will have you covered on all things news and sports in Stillwater. For the Daily O, I'm Emma Lightfoot. Good night, everyone.
Many of our native pecans come from trees that are older than Oklahoma. statehood.
My father's the one that got us started into the pecan picking. I was probably 10 or 12 years old, and we started off with one little mechanical picker that you pulled behind a four-wheeler. Then we'd go home at night and we'd clean them on a TV tray. I guess watching my dad work hard when we were young, and people started trusting him and getting more and more groves, we just kept growing.
Being a relatively new and fresh company, we get to sit in the same room with people who have been a part of the Oklahoma economy for decades.
It's opened a lot of doors. It's gave us quite a bit of exposure, and I think people, will take a small company like us a little more serious. We're just going to continue growing as long as our community lets us and our customers keep on buying, and we'll see where it takes us.
You may have been to casinos at some point in your life, but do you really know the truth behind the game you're playing?
And the casinos were very polemic or very controversial when they came out, but the truth was that's all the federal government gave us.
The casino is owned by the Chickasaw Nation and has roughly 600,000 square feet of dedicated gambling space, making it the world's largest casino. It contributed massively to the Chickasaw Nation, posting a net revenue of $1.4 billion for the fiscal year of 2017.
My name is Kayla. I've been here since the beginning, so 4 years. Scratch is more focused on farm and mostly made in Oklahoma products, keeping it local. Sustainability is our biggest thing. That's one of the reasons why this place opened.
I've been the chef here at Scratch for 2.5 years. Started here as a line cook. Our food and drinks are a bit separate entities almost inside the restaurant. So the food is now up to 85% of the products we bring in are raised or grown locally. It's all based off of things that I grew up eating in southern Oklahoma, the things my grandparents ate.
Fresh food, clean food, organic food, sustainability, that's all of our thing. From front of house to back of house, we're able to maintain both with freshness. But made in Oklahoma means we get it straight from the farms that are 20, 30 minutes, another little county away. We get it straight from them.